Well, it has been described as England's greatest carnival.
Oh yay! Oh yay! Oh yay!
And the City Fathers of Preston negotiated a price of 100 marks for that charter in 1179. As far as we know, the first guild was in 1328.
If you are not in Preston in Guild Week, you are missing something quite unique.
This is the third and final part of a special short series of the Yellow Factory Radio Show on Preston FM 103.2 and www.preston.fm, looking back at the atmosphere and events of Preston Guild 2012. In the last show, we looked back at the events of the 3 proclamation weekends on the 18th of August, the 25th of August and the 1st of September. We joined in the trades procession, so let's go back to Preston City Centre on the afternoon of Saturday, September the 1st, in the aftermath of the trades procession Preston Guild 2012.
Unless maybe in a wheelchair.
Random Prestonians in the street, trades procession day. Are you proud to be Prestonian?
Oh, very, very proud to be Prestonian, yeah.
How many guilds?
Well, I was born in 52, but I'm like,
you know. Baby?
No, I wasn't. I was born in 50.
It's your age.
Oh, delete it all, Gary. Delete it all. No, I'll be either in a wheelchair, an intensive care, or a rest home.
Bill, proud to be Preston?
Certainly am.
How many guilds?
4.
And is this a special time for people?
Certainly is.
For what reasons?
Oh,
on the streets?
It's on the streets, everybody's out, it's traditional.
Right.
It's the heritage of Prestonians.
It is, and you're here to enjoy it, right?
Certainly am here to
You'll
enjoy
be on in the week.
No, but it's not. No.
Preston Guild is truly an international event because you've come from Garstang, haven't you? But this is your nearest big city, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, apart from Lancaster.
Do you think it's going to be a good party? Honestly, it's hello, we're testing 1, 2, 3. Is it going to be a good party?
Of course it's going to be a good party,
and
yes.
You're going to come back and join in throughout the week?
We'll give it a go.
Yeah.
We'll give it a go. You might want to move to Preston after this.
Let's not go that far.
That'll do, just a bit of fun. Thank you very much. Former Mayor,
yes,
you've been
that's
on the
right.
gallery
I've been
there
on the top
for 3
there.
weeks.
I'm just making my way around to the stand now with a bit of luck.
So what are you looking for most of all? Looking forward to most of all?
How many people are involved in this? You know, how many people are turning out from all over the place, and a lot of them people coming from outside Preston, and the fact that the people of Preston have clearly been waiting for this for a long time.
They have, because there's a buzz, isn't there?
Oh yeah. I mean, you did a song for it last time.
And lots of faces that you only see when there are
and
events
that's
like
right,
this.
I've come across
the Olympic
people
Torch
now.
brought people out, and I haven't met you since we were on Mill Lane playing field doing an event.
No, that's right. That's what
So,
you were doing.
And I'm excited about the processions. So
that's right. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Are you former Lady Mayoress?
Yes. I am, yes, yeah.
Was it a good year? But it's not.
It was a very good year. I really enjoyed it. You're sort of on automatic pilot, and I mean, I didn't have to deal with anything like the guild
Carl
in that
and Linda
sense.
must be shattered, mustn't they?
You know, there's just sort of
Going to be by the end of next week.
no end to it at all. But
and I'll say this again: my daughter's best memory is that when she wrote you a letter, and you came to Christchurch Brownies, and you did a little.
All right.
You both
right.
came. Did you?
Yes,
you have gone along.
Yes.
And she's still got that letter somewhere. She was over the moon.
Nice.
So that's what being a mayor's all about, meeting
Yeah,
people.
it is, yeah.
So, former mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks,
Nice to
Gary.
see you. All right, bye. I think we should go for it. I'm lucky enough to be standing with the mayor's attendant today. There's a sense of excitement as the first procession's arriving, isn't there?
It's fantastic atmosphere at the moment. The anticipation that everybody's has been great.
So what's been the mayor's schedule this morning? Was he up at the crack of dawn?
Round about 7 o'clock practising his speech.
And you've been looking after him all morning?
Up to now, yeah. Now he's sat down and he's going to take his time and enjoy the parade.
He said
This is what it's all about
He said
today.
he was going to put his feet up at the end of the week, though.
I think it might be just before then.
He'll be baking sandwiches to his desk.
Bacon sandwiches, cups of, and copious amounts of tea.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Craig Banner, here after the event.
That's
You
right.
can relax a little. You were the gentleman doing the oyes, oyes.
I was indeed, yes.
Yeah.
And thoroughly enjoying myself.
And you've been captured for posterity on film and sound and
I'm
everything.
sure there was a few cameras around, yes. Yeah.
So this is not the end of, it's just the beginning, isn't it?
This is just the beginning, but what a beginning. The weather's been kind to us. People, that you could see the people watching and the people who are actually taking part in the processions. We're just loving it. They were just enjoying
and
it
the
so
people
much.
in the crowds were meeting up, maybe haven't seen each other for years.
Yeah.
And we've got a good 10 days to look forward
Yeah.
to. Now this is your good lady,
This
isn't
is
it?
my good lady, Leslie,
You were going to
yes.
tell me something there and I cut you off, sorry. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that not only the crowds on the market where we are now, but evidently the crowds throughout the streets from Moore Park all the way back to Moore Park are absolutely lined.
John has just announced the end of the procession, but it's the end of the procession for us.
For us on the market.
It's still going, yeah. So this is your good lady.
Yes, it
Your
is.
name is?
Leslie.
Leslie, pleased to meet you, Gary.
Hiya, Gary.
So you were going to say?
I was at the Park and Ride at 9:15 this morning and it was full. So that's how busy, that's how many people have come.
And I was going to walk into town until we managed to get my son up and give us a lift to drop us off on, the other side of Ringway. But it was like everybody was flocking the same way. And that was a good feeling because you don't get that very often, do you? No.
Absolutely.
Hopefully everybody will now go on to Moore Park, on Avon Park, sorry.
And we got the weather.
We did.
Just for today, if only we got the weather.
Could I ask, do you see much of Craig with his official position as Mayor's attendant?
I don't actually know him, I don't know who he is. He's the person who comes home occasionally.
Does he tell you secret stories about the Mayor behind the scenes?
Absolutely.
So there are things we can't broadcast on air?
Yes, definitely.
When I retire.
When you retire, will you write the book?
Yeah.
Can I interview you on your book launch?
Absolutely.
Great stuff.
I've looked after 18 mayors and I'm on chapter 18.
Well, you see, you are perfect material for a feature, for a programme on Preston FM. We should set it up sometime just to talk and gather your memories, because when did you start?
I started in 96, but like I say, I've looked after 18 mayors over those years and had some interesting times.
Yeah, you have. But this is the first big guild experience.
This is the first guild, yes. I was away in the Air Force and I was only 2 when it was the 52 guilds, so this is my first one and I'm actually in it.
You are?
I'm actually taking part in
I was dead jealous of you being up on that balcony, I was trying desperate to get up there, but I couldn't. Can you fit in another one?
Gary.
Is this a face that you know?
Probably will do by the end of the week.
I'm just here at the end of the procession as it passes through the flag market with Carl Crompton Guild Mayor. What a great day so far you've had.
Absolutely, well, I'm absolutely spellbound.
Yeah.
It's been terrific. Preston couldn't have done any more than what they've done.
Well, we've had good weather, we've had great spirit. Standing in the crowd has been absolutely great because people are buzzing with the excitement of everything.
Yeah.
And you've only got 10 days to go.
10 days, yeah.
And you said in your speech, you said when you were interviewed you were going to put your feet up at the end of this.
I am, yes.
And have people bring you coffee and bacon sandwiches now, I would imagine, all sorts. So you must get fed up of people talking to you, so I'm going to let you go. Maybe I can have a chat with Linda. Linda, is that a new hat, especially for the occasion?
Yes.
The Lady Mayoress has got to look good, and you certainly do.
Can I just say that St Catherine's Hospice have been really, really generous with my hats.
Have they?
They've supplied all my hats up to now, apart from 2 that I have bought.
Do you have a different outfit for every day?
Yes.
Yes. Can I ask, did you give the Fair Trade a special cheer as they went by?
Yes, because I'm Fair Trade champion for Preston, but unfortunately with having the mayoralty this year, I haven't been as active, but I did promise them a big wave when I saw them.
Right,
So.
and you could tell us about the good news for Anne Garsted.
Yes, she's becomes a Burgess.
Yeah, and that's recognition of Anne's work and the Fair Trade cause as well, I think.
It certainly is, yes.
So you didn't have anything to do with that, did you?
No, it was actually...
It's a vote,
we was going to do it, and it's Pat Woods, who was a mayor, who has been a mayor, and Pat's put her name forward.
So when do the new honorary burgesses get admitted? Are they admitted on Saturday?
Yes.
Because that's a special thing for Fair Trade, because Anne Garsted...
it certainly is.
Yeah.
Yes, certainly
Yeah,
is.
so thank you very much.
For all the latest community news and events,
103.2 Preston FM.
Your community, your radio. So, we are listening to highlights from Preston Guild 2012 on this third special edition of the Yellow Factory radio show on Preston FM 103.2. I was lucky enough to be making the Guild show for Preston FM back in 2012, and I've been listening through all my pieces of old audio to get the best of what was going on, the atmospheres and the ceremony and the events of Preston Guild 2012. There we were on the Flag Market just after the trades procession on Saturday the 1st of September. I was talking there to Craig Banner, the Mayor's attendant, the gentleman who stood on the balconies and did all the oyes, oyes, and then I spoke to Carl and Linda Crompton. That was the beginning of a mad week. We had the Vintage Weekend. On the Monday we had the Guild Court, the ceremony at the ancient heart of the traditions of Preston Guild. We're going to go and listen to some speeches and some audio from the Guild Court very soon. But there was the church's procession in the afternoon of Monday the 3rd of September. Later in the week we had the community processions, we had the big concerts in the park. On the Saturday we had the torchlight procession. On the Sunday we had the Mayor's Thanksgiving service and the fireworks. The Guild show by that time had gone into so much overdrive that it ceased really to function on a level playing field, because Chat City on Preston FM was going live every day that week, so all of the interviews and the audio went through Chat City that week. So I just sort of stood in the eye of the storm and watched everything going on and went to the Guild Courts. The Guild Courts held in the Guildhall on the Monday, and again later in the week the adjourned Guild Court where the honorary Guild Burgesses were given their titles and status. In days gone by, the Guild Court was only accessible to the privileged few. Those traders who had Burgess status were the traders who had the right to do business in Preston, and that tradition goes back to 1179, when the first charter came from the King. That charter gave Preston market status. Very soon, the town formed a guild to protect the rights of the traders, and only members of the guild could do business here. Over time, the Burgess rights became passed down from father to son, and it became necessary from 1542 onwards to hold a guild every 20 years so that children could claim their family's Burgess rights by attending the Mayor and his guild court and pledging allegiance to him and paying a fee. In the late 18th, early 19th century, with freedom of trade laws, these rights became ceremonial, an excuse for a festival, a celebration, a party. But the ceremony, the words and the traditions date back to medieval times. In 2012, these events were relayed to the Flag Market on a closed-circuit television for the first time in history. But I went along with a press pass and a microphone to capture the event for Preston FM. Preston FM is privileged to be at the Guild Court, and somebody's made me really, really welcome. Your name is?
Angela Sinclair, Communications Officer, Preston Council.
And you are really at the heart of what's going on today.
I am on the civic side. I've been involved in all the traditional arrangements, so all the proclamations and the Guild Court and the adjourned Guild Court, which is next week when the Guild roll will be closed for another 20 years.
So today it's the hereditary Burgesses.
Today is the hereditary Burgesses. They can swear in their sons and daughters.
Yeah.
And the adjourned court next week, it will be closed, but also the honorary Burgesses get sworn in next week.
Okay, so they can't pass that on to their children and grandchildren at the moment?
At the moment, no, not until after they're sworn in, so they can at the next one.
Right, so you mentioned daughters. Is that a new thing?
It is. From 1992 at the last Guild, daughters were allowed, otherwise it was just sons previously to that.
Well, things are beginning to happen, and we were just talking about music and Human League, weren't we, before we started?
We were.
And reminiscing, so good luck for the morning, and thank you very much for talking to Gary on Preston FM.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
that are free burgesses of the borough of Preston in the county palatine of Lancaster, whether inhabitants within this borough or foreigners, who have had public summons or notice to appear at this time and place for the more solemn holding and keeping of a guild merchant within the borough of Preston, according to the ancient usage and custom thereof. Draw near and give your attendance. Oyez! 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 The mayor of this city strictly charges and commands all persons here present to keep silent, whilst an account or proclamation of several guilds merchants which have heretofore been held within this borough, together with the authority by which the same are and have been held and continued, is in reading. God save the Queen. The Clerk of the Guild will read a recital of the Royal Charters of the Borough and account or declaration of guilds.
Whereas King Charles II, by his Royal Charter, in the 36th year of his reign, did grant and confirm to the Mayor, Bailiffs and Burgesses of this Borough of Preston that the said borough was and is an ancient and free borough, and did likewise confirm and ratify all and every the ancient rights, privileges, immunities and all other franchises that at any times therefore had been granted and confirmed to the Mayor, Bailiffs and Burgesses, or to the Burgesses of the City or Borough of Preston aforesaid, by any of his predecessors or progenitors, kings and queens of the realm of England, and by the said charter did also grant and confirm to the said Mayor, Bailiffs and Burgesses of the said Borough of Preston and their successors, that they and their successors should have a guild merchant in the said borough, with all privileges and free customs thereto, belonging as they had theretofore used and enjoyed the same. And whereas King Henry II, after the conquest, granted by his royal charter to the said Burgesses of Preston certain liberties and free customs, granted to the Burgesses of Newcastle under Lyme, which was subsequently confirmed in a charter by Henry III in 1235, and appear to be in these words: Know ye us to have granted by this our present charter to have confirmed for us and for our heirs to our Burgesses of Newcastle under Lyme, that the town of Newcastle under Lyme be a free borough, and that the Burgesses of that borough have a guild merchant within the said borough, with all liberties and free customs to such guild merchant appertaining, that they may go through all our land with all their merchandise, buying, selling and trading well in peace, freely, quietly and honourably, and that they may be free from toll, passage, pontage, stallage, lastage, unnage, and all other customs, saving in all things our City of London. And whereas the ancient and free Burgesses of the Borough of Preston have for many years since obtained from many succeeding kings and queens of England full liberty and freedom for all those, and many other privileges, immunities and franchises which stand ratified and confirmed by several royal grants and charters, and have for many ages past held and kept within this borough a guild merchant, as appears in the records and books belonging to this incorporation, as for instance, guild merchants were held in the 2nd year of the reign of King Edward III, in the 20th year of the reign of King Richard II, in the 3rd year of the reign of King Henry V, in the 37th year of the reign of King Henry VI, in the 16th year of the reign of King Henry VII, in the 34th year of the reign of King Henry VIII, and in the 4th, 24th and 44th years of the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, in the 20th year of the reign of King James I, in the 18th year of the reign of King Charles I, in the 14th year and 34th years of the reign of King Charles II, in the 1st year of the reign of Queen Anne, in the 9th year of the reign of King George I, in the 16th year of the reign of King George II, in the 2nd, 22nd and 42nd years of the reign of King George III, in the 3rd year of the reign of King George IV, in the 6th, 26th and 46th years of the reign of Queen Victoria, in the 2nd year of the reign of King Edward VII, in the 13th year of the reign of King George V, in the 1st, 21st and 41st years of the reign of Her Majesty, the present Queen Elizabeth II. And now another guild merchant, according to the rights, precedents, practices and ancient customs of this borough, commences this Monday in the 3rd day of September in the 61st year of the reign of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and in the year of our Lord 2012, before the Right Worshipful Councillor Carl Crompton, Mayor, and Councillor Ken Hudson, and Councillor Jonathan Saxena, and Councillor Bill Shannon, stewards. His Honour Judge Anthony Russell QC, Honorary Recorder, and Lorraine Norris, Clerk of this Guild, which Mayor, stewards and Clerk will sit in the Town Hall in this borough from day to day during the time of this Guild to receive the claims and pretensions of all free burgesses of this borough on behalf of themselves or their sons and daughters, and for the doing and performing of all such other matters and things as by the Mayor and stewards of this Guild shall be lawfully agreed upon.
Made by people like you.
Your community. Your radio.
Your Preston FM.
You've been listening to the words of the Clerk of the Guild, Preston Guild 2012, of Chief Executive Lorraine Norris, as she reads a recital of the Royal Charters of the Borough. This forms part of the ceremony of the Guild Court, which took place at the beginning of Guild Week 2012 in the Guild Hall. These words are only heard once in a generation, once every 20 years, which is why I think it's so important to capture them and keep them for posterity here on Preston FM. This is part of the ceremony building up to the burgesses coming to reclaim their rights and pass their rights on to their children. The ceremony continues with the Sergeant at Mace, who proclaims once again, Oyez, oyez, oyez.
Oyez, oyez, oyez. The Mayor and stewards of this present Guild Merchant do now openly publish and declare that all the rights, privileges and immunities of this borough and council are now devolved into the hands of the Mayor and stewards of this borough, and that all and every person and persons who have or pretend to have or claim any right of freedom of or within the borough, either by ancestry, prescription or purchase, or by themselves or their friends and this Guild Merchant to claim the same, or else hereafter they will be debarred thereof. God save the Queen.
I will now call out the names of leading burgesses from the Guild Roll of 1992 who are seated on the platform, and do hereby request them to rise and bow when their name has been called to signify that they wish to renew their right of freedom of or within this borough. Edward Richard William Stanley of Knowsley, 19th Earl of Derby, son of Hugh Henry Montague, deceased. Rafe John Ashton of Downham Hall, Clitheroe, Right Honourable Lord Clitheroe, Peer of the Realm, son of Rafe, Baronet, deceased. Charles Geoffrey Nicholas K. Shuttleworth of Leck Hall, Carnforth, the Right Honourable Lord Shuttleworth, Lord Lieutenant of Lancashire, son of Charles Uhtred John, deceased. Richard Bernard Cuthbert de Horton of Horton Tower, Baronet, son of Cuthbert, Baronet, deceased. John Branwood of Penwitham, son of Frank, deceased. Henry Thomas Parker Robinson of Broughton, son of Deborah Robinson, and grandson of Harold Parker, the Guild Mayor of 1992, deceased. John James Ward of Broughton, son of Francis Eden, deceased. Andrew James Wilson of Broughton, son of Francis Eden, deceased. Thomas Woodcock of Sladeburn, Garter King of Arms, son of Thomas, deceased. I will now call out the names of certain burgesses from the Guild Roll of 1992, together with the names of sons and daughters now seeking admission as Guild burgesses who are present here today. Those burgesses and sons and daughters who are present are requested to rise and bow when their name is called out, in order to signify that they wish to renew their right to freedom of or within this borough. The family of Ainscough. Joan of Penwitham. Noel John of Penwitham. The family of Olker. Rodney of Penwitham. Neil of Walton le Dale. Rachel Louise of Walton le Dale. Lynn of North Hallerton. Catherine Ann of Walton le Dale. The family of Ashcroft. Thomas of Ormskirk. The family of Ashton. Rafe Christopher.
Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. The Clerk of the Guild will read the names of the officers of the present Guild.
The Guild Mayor, Councillor Carl Crompton. The Guild Stewards, Councillor Ken Hudson, Councillor Jonathan Saxena, and Councillor Bill Shannon. The Honorary Recorder of the Guild, His Honour, Judge Anthony Russell QC. The Clerk of the Guild, Lorraine Norris. The Right Worshipful, the Mayor of this borough, duly caused to be inserted in appropriate papers a notice that a guild merchant would be opened and held in and for this borough according to ancient custom. And on this present Monday, the 3rd of September 2012, being the Monday next, after the Feast of the Decollation of St. John the Baptist, and also caused a proclamation to be duly made and published in this borough on Saturday, the 18th day of August last, and the 2 succeeding Saturdays of the opening and holding of the said guild merchant, and which said notice and proclamation required all and every the free burgesses of this borough, as well inhabitants as foreigners, to appear by themselves at this time and place, to attend the Mayor and stewards of this present guild, to give such attendance and services as to them should appertain, and for divers other reasons and purposes therein, and thereby specified and set forth. The Mayor of this borough, in pursuance and under and by virtue of the powers and authorities contained in certain royal charters granted to this borough by King Henry II and others, his royal successors, kings and queens of this realm, and according to ancient usage and custom, hereby declares that the guild merchant for the said borough is now opened and held, and will continue to be open and held for all purposes of the said guild merchant. And the Mayor of this borough hereby requires and commands that all and every burgess and burgesses, as well inhabitants as foreigners, within this borough, claiming any franchise either by ancestry, prescription or purchase within this borough of Preston, do claim and entitle themselves to all such liberties, privileges and freedoms as to them or any of them shall be due or in any way belong at the Guild Court now open and held before the Mayor and Stewards of the said Guild Merchant or at the said Court which will be held by adjournment at the office of the Chief Executive of the Town Hall, Preston, aforesaid. And the Mayor of this borough hereby gives notice that all persons neglecting to claim and entitle themselves to the freedom of this borough, as aforesaid, will lose all rights, privileges and immunities connected therewith. God save the Queen. The Guild Merchant is now opened. The court will be held in my office between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 noon on each day during this week, and the Guild books kept open for the enrolling of the names of the Guild burgesses, whether in or foreign, who are entitled, and those of their sons and daughters. At 11 a.m. on Saturday next, the court then be held in the Guild Hall before the Mayor and Stewards of the Guild, when orders will be made and the books sealed and the court adjourned for 20 years or until a new guild shall be held.
103.2 Preston FM.
Keeping it local. You've been listening to the ceremonial and ancient words spoken at the Guild Court on the 3rd of September 2012 as the Clerk of the Guild welcomes old and new burgesses to renew their loyalties to the Guild Mayor of Preston. These words have been spoken repeatedly at guilds down the centuries. Today we can hear them and archive them through the medium of radio. The proceedings of the Guild Court continued with the ancient tradition of Latin addresses by local scholars. Judge Anthony Russell QC, Recorder of the Guild, replied in Latin, but we will hear the Guild Mayor address the court, and then the Mayor's Chaplain, the Canon of Preston, Father Timothy Lipscomb.
Ladies and gentlemen, and not forgetting the people on the flag market, the proud Prestonians who are watching us on the big screen. Just as it has done so in the past, Preston Guild has once again drawn us all together. Many of you will have travelled some distance just to be here, and I would like to thank you all. Whether you come from near or far, for making this journey to be part of Preston's history. I hope you enjoy this occasion and share the happy memories for many years to come. Certainly, it is with tremendous honour for me to share this unique and historic moment with you all. What we are witnessing today, indeed during the next few days, with all the Preston Guild celebrations, is accumulation of over 800 years of history and tradition. It is amazing to think what we are experiencing today with the Guild Court is little changed since 1179. Just think about it. Preston Guild has survived great plagues, a civil war, 2 world wars, the Industrial Revolution, and the advent of computer and digital technology, to name but a few. I'm sure our ancestors of the first guild, all those years ago, could never have dreamt that Preston Guild would still be celebrated in the 21st century. Naturally, our celebrations are now more dynamic, more inclusive, and more spectacular, but the core of the Guild still remains. We still celebrate our trade and commerce that makes this city a great place to do business. We also celebrate our fine communities that we have changed and moulded together to make Preston a great place to live. And not forgetting our faith and also our thirst for culture, as well as our quest for learning and for knowledge. All of this is crucial as it underpins our ambitions to be a successful, thriving, modern and high-tech city. The Guild is our opportunity to show the world what Preston is about, and that as a city we have a unique and illustrious past that allows us to be confident and ambitious in the future. Looking to the future and the next Guild, who knows what may happen in 20 years' time? What do I know is whatever happens, just like the trials and tribulations of the past 800 years, there will be a Preston Guild, and that for those lucky and young enough, we will again gather here again in 2032 to uphold our unique and fine traditions. Let us have optimism and be confident that as a city and as a community, Preston will go from strength to strength. Our legacy from the 2012 Guild is to capitalise on our immense civic pride and community spirit. We also need to make the most of our excellent communications, transport, education and cultural links, so that Preston fulfills and reaches its true potential. But before I finally close the proceedings today, I must pay tribute and say thank you to the many hundreds of people that have worked so hard to put on Preston Guild. It really is a team effort, and without their immense contributions, we would not host such a wonderful celebration. Thank you all.
It is difficult to cast our minds back to the reign of Henry II, when church and state were predominant in our land. We take for granted now the rights and privileges that all individuals and families enjoy today. We tend to forget that all were not free men, and that life for many was about day-to-day survival. In 1179, Robin of Locksley had not come into his own, and Richard I had not yet abandoned England for the Crusades. Life was onerous. For many, life was short and cheap through harsh laws and cruel regimes. The only means of education and welfare was through the church, and the teaching, charitable work, and welfare was mostly through monastic houses. For many, therefore, the Charter giving individuals the right to trade and to be part of the Guild gave them security, a certain privilege, and a more secure way of earning a living. They gained the support and admiration of fellow traders and were able to expand and develop businesses and organizations, which in time made Preston flourish and establish itself as a thriving town in the northwest. Indeed, the particular climate and convenient location near the river and estuary made trade at home and overseas possible, particularly within the cotton industry. The history of the Guild tells us much about the history of Britain, and every 20 years gives us a picture of the life and times of Prestonians through the ages. It is a cameo of life, and those who've recorded and written about the various guilds make it clear that life does not stand still. It is forever changing. If we go back 833 years, and we look at social history ever since, we find the changing fortunes of many families and individuals. Some families prospered and grew immensely powerful. Others peaked and died away. You could say, for the most part, that every dog has its day. And yet new talents and innovations are popping up all the time. As most of you know well, the United Kingdom has not always enjoyed the unification for the most parts that we take for granted today. Preston has found itself at the centre of the battlefield and has faced the threats of invading marauders. Successive monarchs have given favour to Catholics and Protestants alike, and some have perished as martyrs in the cause of human rights and in faithfulness to the teachings of their church, alongside the backcloth of a hostile environment. Through the industry of successive burgesses, Preston at one time became a fashionable Georgian spa town with a privileged gentility that perhaps has never seen the light of day since. Preston also emerged as a leading light during the Industrial Revolution, where weaving and cotton manufacturing was unsurpassed. The powerful magnates, who often came from humble beginnings, had a hold upon this town, and the focus of many individual traders changed to support the massive factories and colossal mills, whose disused buildings are somewhat iconic upon our landscape today. Although prints and patterns, fabrics and designs found their way to the West End of London, and in the fashion houses of the world. Much of this outward glamour was founded upon the hardship, unsatisfactory and dangerous working conditions of the time, and poor pay and housing conditions which were not worthy of a land called Great Britain. Nevertheless, some magnates were also philanthropists and benefactors to this city, a city as we know it. We have fine buildings and churches, some of which were founded upon the industry of this city and through the work of burgesses and others. Charitable institutes were founded to alleviate the plight of the poor. Little by little, through social reform and benevolence of some of the rich, or social-minded individuals and collective groups, were educated and given the right to proper housing and able to appreciate the heritage, natural beauty of open spaces and the amenities of Preston. Much of this has come about through the care and love for humanity. Perhaps we need to take our minds back to the teachings and parables of our Lord Jesus Christ in trying to establish for ourselves the whole point of life itself. For we are all on a journey in preparation for the perfect life, which all who believe in Christ the Son of God are striving to work towards, both in our own time and praying for the grace and mercy which comes from Almighty God, that we might be called one day to the heavenly firmament, where all may find peace and equality, harmony and all knowledge for eternity. May the coming together of this guild court bring us love and respect for one another, and make us all the more determined to love God and our neighbours as ourselves. Amen.
A local radio station
for local people.
103.2 Preston FM.
Your community radio.
This third programme in my look back at Preston Guild 2012 has taken us to the heart of the Guild Court to hear words which have been spoken for hundreds and hundreds of years. But of course music always plays a part in these proceedings. At the end of the Guild Court 2012, a new ensemble called the Guild Horns performed the premiere of their specially commissioned piece Proclaiming Preston, composed by Timothy Jackson. We can hear some of that piece now. Bernie, we know each other. You're here supporting who today? This is for Preston FM. It's really exciting. Who are you supporting?
Well, I was invited by Clinton Smith from the Black History Group because I'm a volunteer there. So I've come with him and Jonathan Pond, and I'm here. I'm delighted to be here because my sister Barbara McLaren decided that she was going to set up this horn group to play for Preston Guild, and so the Guild Horns, 18 of them, have been playing here.
Is this what they're called, the Guild Horns?
The Guild Horns.
That's a great name.
And they had a new piece of music written especially for this event by Tim Jackson from the Liverpool Phil, and this is it. And it was its inaugural performance today.
Well,
isn't that fantastic?
That is absolutely fantastic, because I was at the back recording it, so I have a recording of it.
Oh, excellent.
And I'll have to go and have a word with Tim about copyright.
Yeah, but 18 French horns, what a sight.
So just tell me again, Bernie, this is your sister?
My sister Teresa Gorrell, my brother Nick Holm, my sister Barbara McLaren instigated the whole thing.
It's a family affair.
And my nephew Phelan Kennedy was also playing.
I'm Nicola McCallion.
And I'm Mark Harding.
And you are both French horn players?
Yes, that's
So
right.
what's the story of this new piece of music that's been written?
Well, it was written by Tim Jackson, principal of the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic.
Say that position again, it sounded very important.
The principal horn of the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra in Liverpool. So he's written this piece for us. We formed 3 years ago, ready for the Guild.
So you are called the Guild Horns?
We're called Guild Horns, yeah. I think we'd always wanted to kind of like horn ensemble.
We do other things as well.
You do.
Not just the...
We were saying that like just before 3 years ago we thought we'd be lucky if we could get 12, and now we've got 18. So
and I've been talking to Bernie, whose sister has sort of they've organised this, Bernie Velvick and Barbara McLaren.
Yeah.
And it's a sort of a family affair as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how come you're involved? You're obviously leading horn players in the Northwest, you two.
Yeah, well, I'm up in Glasgow now at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music.
That's great. You were a Broughton schoolboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tim was a Fulwood schoolboy. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And what do you do now?
I'm going to Imperial to do biology, which is a bit different to music, but I play it on the side.
Of course. So you think you can wangle me an introduction to Tim?
Yeah, let's go.
Of course. Stay with me, because these are former pupils of mine from Broughton, and you're a former pupil of Fulwood High School.
I am, yes.
So, Tim Jackson, Preston schoolboy.
Yeah.
Tell us about your success as Guild Musician of the Year 1992.
Well, I was very fortunate. I made it through to the final of the competition. I got through all the earlier rounds, made it through to the final. I'm afraid I had an absolute nightmare of a night on the final performance, and I didn't do myself any favours at all, and I came comprehensively last of the four.
But
I was so pleased to be involved in the thing, and particularly this year I was able to be a panellist on the adjudicating panel for the final this year, and to be there sort of 20 years later, watching all the youngsters going through the same thing and playing every note with them, feeling it all with them. It was a really special experience to be back there this year.
But you still feature on the official Guild video of 92. You
Is
must
that
realise
right?
that
Oh, I
you
didn't
are in
realise
there.
that.
You have a few seconds of fame in the official video.
I'm sorry about
standing
that.
on. But your story from 92 to 2012 is quite a successful one. You're now principal French horn with the Liverpool Phil. Is that right?
It's a real feeling of coming home for me, because of course the first orchestral concerts I ever really saw were watching the Phil in the Guild Hall in Preston when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And what's even better is that some of the people that are in my section now in the French horns were actually playing with the orchestra then.
Great.
And I used to come with my teacher Barbara McLaren to watch the concerts there, and now to see Barbara in the audience bringing her students to watch the orchestra is such a fantastic full circle kind of feeling, and having spent almost 20 years in London up until now, and to be moving back up with my family to bring my little girl back up around Preston as well. So a really amazing feeling of just life repeating itself and everything coming back around again.
So from school, did you go straight into professional music?
I went to music college, did 4 years at music college, and studied at Manchester University in the Royal Northern, and then moved down to London for a girl. It's always the same story, isn't it? But I was very lucky and landed on my feet with a job at the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden.
That's great.
And then I moved from there to the Philharmonia, still in London, but there was a huge amount of touring there. The schedule is really, really tough, and it's not terribly family friendly. No. So when the job in Liverpool filled came up, I threw my hat into the ring there, and I was fortunate enough to make it through the trial and be offered the job. So back up here now.
So where is home? Is it Preston?
Home is Formby now, actually, but of course the Liverpool fill's got a series in Preston anyway, so we're here very frequently. And my folks still live in Fulwood, same house as my sister was born in.
I used to work with your father.
Yeah.
There's fond memories of tapes at
right.
Broughton High School. Tell me the story of this piece of music and the
Well,
Guild
I was approached by Barbara McLaren to write a piece for the group, not at that time specifically for the Guild ceremonies or anything like that, but for the group to work on, just something which would give everybody a bit of a challenge. And I went to do some workshops with the group, and we came up with the idea of trying to use the word Preston as part of the kind of the musical material for it. So I took a chromatic scale and took the letters of the word Preston, took each of the notes to produce a set of notes, which then become the tune for the whole piece. Yeah. And so that means that the word Preston is actually being played throughout the piece, which is really exciting. I mean, there's nobody in the audience can actually tell that, of course, but if you were to follow the score through, I've written the letters of the word Preston above each of the notes every time it comes through the piece. There's a presentation score to be given to the city of Preston as a thank you for the Guild that'll actually show all the words as you read through the piece.
That is information that we need to know when we listen to that piece.
Didn't they play well?
Is there anything we haven't covered other than words of praise for the players?
Well, no. I mean, just to say that from the point of view of a professional player coming to work with so-called amateur players, it's absolutely wonderful standard of playing. I mean, it blows me away. And to hear this piece that we've been working on for months just build up to the performance today, and to hear it pulled out of the bag in that kind of way on the day, really emotional. I must admit, I found myself filling up a little bit during the performance. It was a really special thing.
Luckily you had your back to the audience as you were leading, so it was only the players could see your tears. Well, Tim, thank you very much, and you too as well, thank you very much.
On 103.2 FM.
From Moornook to Millerpine.
And Ingle to Grange.
It's your community, your radio,
your Preston FM.
So, after the Guild Court on Monday, September the 3rd, 2012, Guild Week continued in a whirl of ceremony and activities, too much for one man and his Guild show microphone to capture. So, we'll leave my look back to Guild 2012 there, and leave the rest to what I hope are your great memories of Preston Guild 2012. Thank you for listening to my 3 programmes looking back to the atmospheres, the events and the excitement in the build-up to Guild 2012. My name is Gary Cunliffe. Please listen to Preston FM on 103.2 and www.preston.fm. Bye!